Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The laughter hit harder than the champagne. It started small, a burst from my ex, Ryan, echoing through the crowded living room, but it grew until it swallowed the music, the chatter, and the faint pulse of bass trembling through the floor. Everyone was laughing. And then, somehow, so was I. The moment I saw the look on Daniel's face, my stomach turned cold. He stood by the doorway, the golden light from the chandelier catching the rim of his glass. His eyes weren't angry yet, just wounded, confused, like he was trying to make sense of what had just happened. And then realization hit him. He set his drink down. So that's what I am to you. His voice was steady, but the tremor beneath it was unmistakable. Daniel, it was just a joke, I started, but my words tangled into nothing. He shook his head once. No, Emma. It wasn't. Then he walked out. And I didn't stop him. The party felt like static after that. Bodies swaying, laughter blending with guilt pressing against my chest. I smiled when people looked, nodded when they spoke, but all I could hear was Ryan's voice replaying in my head. So that's the guy you downgraded for, he'd said, smirking. Didn't think you'd go for the quiet type. Someone laughed. I did too. Reflexively. Nervously. Because that's what people do when their ex throws daggers in public. They laugh to seem unaffected. But Daniel had seen everything. A joke. My reaction. My silence. By the time I pushed through the crowd to find him, he was gone. The next morning, my apartment smelled like stale perfume and regret. His jacket was gone from the chair. The framed photo of us, at the lake last summer, was missing from the shelf. That's when the panic began. I dialed him. Straight to voicemail. I texted him, "Can we talk?" No reply. Hours turned to days. Silence settled like punishment. I replayed every second of that night. The way Ryan's hand brushed my arm when he made the joke. The flicker of triumph in his eyes when I didn't defend Daniel. The way Daniel's jaw clenched before he left. Had Ryan planned it? Probably. He always liked control. But the real question was why I'd let him win. 3 days later, I went to Daniel's apartment. His car was parked outside. He opened the door after a long pause. He looked like he hadn't slept. Dark circles, messy hair, an expression caught between hurt and exhaustion. "Emma." His voice was flat. "Can I come in?" He hesitated, then stepped aside. The place was spotless, unnervingly so. Every trace of me gone. "I didn't mean to laugh," I started. "It just happened." He didn't respond, just crossed his arms. "I panicked," I said. It was one of those moments you freeze. You don't want to make a scene. I know how it looked, but you did make a scene, he said quietly. Just not the one I deserved. I swallowed. "You think I meant to humiliate you?" He looked at me for a long time before replying. "I think you wanted him to see that you're fine without him. And you used me to prove it." The words hit harder than any scream could. "That's not true," I whispered. He tilted his head. "Then why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you defend me?" "'Cause I was afraid. Because I still needed to prove to myself that I'd moved on. Because deep down I wanted Ryan to see me happy. And I mistook cruelty for confidence. But I couldn't say any of that aloud. Instead I said, "I'm sorry." Daniel looked at me like he was searching for something to hold on to, then gave up. "It's not just about that night, Emma. It's about what it showed me. You still care what he thinks." "I don't." "Then why are you here apologizing instead of fighting for us?" His words caught me off guard. Because he was right. I wasn't there to save us. I was there to ease my guilt. "I guess," I said quietly, "because I already lost you that night." He didn't deny it. A week passed. I didn't hear from him. Then Ryan texted. "You were funny the other night. Reminded me of us." I stared at the message for a long time before replying. That's exactly the problem. I deleted his number. But closure isn't clean. It lingers, festers, whispers. I found myself scrolling through old pictures of Daniel, wondering when laughter had turned into weapons, when love had become something to prove instead of something to protect. 2 weeks later, I ran into him again, Daniel, at a friend's gallery opening. He looked lighter, calmer. There was a woman beside him, tall, poised, kind eyes. She touched his arm when she laughed. Our eyes met across the room. He gave me a small, polite smile, the kind you give someone you used to know. And in that moment, I understood the full weight of what I'd done, not because he'd moved on, but because I realized he'd found peace in a place I'd shattered. Ryan's laughter that night at the party had been a test I failed without even knowing it. I thought betrayal was something someone did to you. But sometimes it's what you do to yourself, when you choose ego over empathy, pride over love. Outside, the air was cool and sharp. I stood under the streetlight, the world quiet around me, and for the first time I didn't reach for my phone. No messages, no apologies, no desperate attempts to fix what was already gone. Just silence. And maybe that was the only way to start again.